So far, I have up to 15 videos of me making pants, either in short form, palazzo form, or in bootcut form. I have up to 15 videos of me making pants. And I actually decided to go watch them all because we have gotten to the teach yourself how to sew pants edition. How many of you are excited for this video? I started this teach yourself how to sew that the series. I started it last year and I made the perfect to me, yes, because I tried it, tested and it was good. I made a perfect basic bodice pattern that is on my channel. And then I also created a perfect skirt pattern also on my channel. The skirt pattern is my favorite. Skirt pattern, getting the perfect skirt that fits your bum, that perfect way, getting it, being able to do it. That's like my favorite creation ever. Now we're on the trouser edition and I'm excited because so long I have been waiting to do this. It is time, okay, it is that time of the year where we perfect our pants making, and of course it's going to be a process. The process of we achieving this particular pant is going to be long. It's my process and I'm sharing it with you, so I actually don't really care how long it's gonna be as far as I get the results that I'm looking for. Anyways, I watched them all because I wanted to know where I was going wrong when making my pants. I had to watch like almost all, if not all. I found out that most of those videos are actually really detailed but with few mistakes, and I have stated those mistakes out so that we can cross check when we're making this particular pattern. Okay, as we're trying to correct our pants making, we're going to go through these mistakes and correct them on my pants, okay, so that we just get it to that level from not so perfect to perfect. So yeah, the 15 videos I tried, they detailed, but then there were a few mistakes that we need to press on. Now all these mistakes are not in the same videos, most of them are in different videos, but then I just concluded that we need to fix all of them in this particular pattern so there is no mistake. The first mistake that I noticed that I was actually making on my pants video is minusing the band length. Oh my god, yeah, I made this particular mistake. I think in the whole freaking 15 videos I did not minus my band length from the pattern. Okay, so before marking my waist point to my hip point, I was supposed to minus my band length from that measurement, and I made a mistake. We're going to be correcting that in this video. The second mistake is, this one is coming from you guys. Most of you send me messages on here, the comment section, saying that I did not raise my back pattern. Okay, so we're going to be doing that on this video. We're going to be raising the back pattern by either 1 inch or 0.75, more than the front. So yeah, that mistake, we're going to be taking care of it in this video. And this one is very, very important. This third mistake is very, very important because I feel like everybody make this mistake. Now when I mean everybody, I'm not saying everybody outside my Nigerian people or my Africans. This is something that would generally, the mistake that I think all of us were doing, because I see most YouTubers that make sewing videos, they make these mistakes, especially Africans. And yeah, we need to correct it on this video. Now most of us are confusing what the crotch depth is and what the crotch length is. Now when making your pattern, your general pattern, when making your pattern, your crotch depth is required and your crotch length is also required, and these two things are different. And we're going to be understanding what it is to when you say I need the crotch length and the crotch depth, we're going to be differentiating it and understanding where or how to get the measurements for these two things. Okay, we need to fix that issue: crotch depth, crotch length. Now the next thing is allowance. Now this allowance one, I know I don't know why that was like a problem I had in my sewing journey, adding allowance. And this video, we're going to make sure that when we're drafting out the pattern, we add enough allowance. Okay, and the last mistake is fabric. Now why most of the pants that I've made, I've not been wearing it because of the fabric. I didn't like the fabric after I was done creating this. We're going to be taking care of also on this video. But anyways, this is the introduction. Thank you for joining me on the series. And you guys, in case you don't know who's speaking, Vivian or KK, don't forget to subscribe if you want to grow with me, because we're growing. Okay, and please like this video if you find it interesting, and yeah, do make sure you engage on the comment section. Okay, let me know what you think. Suggest to me if after watching this whole long process, if you still feel like there was a mistake or something I'm neglecting, let me know in the comment section so that I can share this new findings that you're going to be finding for me with the rest of us, okay, the rest soulmates. But yeah, that being said, let's get into the next process. To simplify this process, we have to first of all define a trouser. This is a garment created to cover the lower part of the body. You can say from the waist to the ankle or from the waist to the floor. Now, this particular garment has separate section for each leg. So separate section for the left leg and separate section for the right leg. If you know how to make a skirt as a beginner, the difference between making a skirt and a trouser is just one thing. The skirt has a provision for both legs together, but when making the trouser, it creates a separate section for each leg. So your left leg sits on a different section and your right leg sits on a different section. And that's just the difference between your trouser and your skirt. So let's go ahead and start taking the body measurement. So this is the next step for me to take, and this is body measurement. So I'm going to be taking full lower part body measurement, which is from the waist down to my length. But then for the practical, for also creating a pattern, we're going to be creating a pattern for shorts, okay? So we'll try it on the shorts, sew it, I'll wear it, test it, and if that looks good, then we'll go ahead to draft out the longer pattern. But yeah, let's take the body measurements. If I did not say this before, if you're a beginner, don't be scared, okay? Don't think about it too much. Just make sure that every measurement I'm taking right now, follow me and take them, okay? I just grabbed my book, I have my tape, and I have a pen, okay? I'll call out every measurement, I'll write mine down, and you write yours down, and when I take it, you take yours. So you're not going to miss it, okay? If you pay attention to everything you're doing, you can be a beginner, and this is your first time of making a pant, and you'll get it. There's nobody that is saying that is impossible. Everything is possible. Just believe that you can. Anyways, let's just get into the body measurement. Taking any kind of measurement, you always start with your vertical measurement, your straight measurement. And for pants, you always start from your waist. Your waist is the first point. So go ahead and indicate where your waist point is. I'm showing you guys where I always want my pants to sit. So I'll go ahead and place my tape on that point. That is my waist point. And now I'll go down and stop at my hip. So what I'm doing now is taking my waist to hip point, and that is 10 inches. Next measurement is going to be my waist to my knee point. Now this is for a full pant. When you're making a full pant, you need your knee point, especially if it's a fitted pant. And you always take your knee point from your waist and make sure you stop at 1 or 2 inches above your actual knee, okay? The next is the waist to the length. So you place your tape again from that point you want your pants to sit on, and then you leave the tape to go down to the length. If you're making a short, you just take the length, how long you want the short to be, and that is it. And the next is your crotch depth. For your crotch depth, please go ahead and sit on a flat surface and place your tape again from the waist to on top of the flat surface, and that is how you find out your crotch depth. Now we're going to move on to round measurements, and the first is going to be the round waist. So once you are done taking the straight measurement, you take the round measurement of those points. And for my waist, I have 30 inches as my round waist. The next is my round hip. I'll place my tape again round my hip point, and I'll find out what I have there. I have 44 inches, and this is because I gained, my ass is getting bigger. Now, once you have your round hip measurement, we're going to move on to the next round measurements that you need to take. Next is my crouch length. Like I said, the crouch length is different from the crouch depth. For your crouch length, place the tape from your front waistline and pass that same tape between your legs, and then stop at your back waistline where you want your pant to sit at the back. And that is what you're going to be calling your crouch length. As for me, I did this and I got 29 inches. So make sure you do the same. The next I'm going to be taking is my round lap. I just place the tape around my lap like this. Can you see? Just place it around your lap, making sure one finger is between it like this. And that is your round lap. For me, my round lap is 27.5. So make sure you do the same. So I have my measurements written down in my book. I have everything I'm supposed to have. The next thing is just to grab my pattern paper. So please grab your pattern paper. and this is very, very important. Okay, so the practical we're going to be doing it on the pattern paper, because yes, let's avoid spoiling or wasting our fabric. Let's practicalize this on the pattern paper. So that's one of the benefits of using your pattern. If you have a pattern paper, either cardboard, the main brown paper, or you have like a newspaper or book, so they tape them together, just make sure you're not using your fabric, okay, so we don't waste it. So I don't want to waste your fabric, okay, because I'm not wasting my. So yeah, grab your pattern paper. I know that from the beginning of this video, I've been sounding really, really confident. Note that this is a practical, so I don't know what I'm about to do, okay? I'm about to apply so many things, and I just hope that the result comes out really good. And please, that is why I have the comment section available for you. I want you to let me know in the comment section when you see me do a mistake, or you think you know something that I can do to make these pants better. Say it on the comment section, okay? Don't hold your information. First thing I'll do is take out allowance on the side. This is where our side seam is going to be sitting, and I'm using my pen for this. So what I'm taking right here has nothing to do with the short pattern first. This is just allowance on the side, okay? In case we need to do anything on the side, we have allowance for that, okay? And I'm going to be taking allowance 2 on the top here. So this place here is for the side seam, and I'll take allowance on the top too, in case I need to add allowance to my pattern. I have that, okay? So this is just necessary and important. In fact, I'm going to be doing this step on all my patterns, both for pants, for skirts, for bodies. I'm going to try and be leaving allowance, unless I don't need. Again, I'm going to do an allowance like this. So this point here automatically becomes our waist point. So this is the waist. I'm just going to write it here, waist. So I'm going to be looking at the steps on here, my book. Most of you will be asking, what's going to be the width of your fabric or the width of your pattern? Please, just use your pattern like that, okay? This is practical. If you want a pants tutorial, just check out my other videos, but this is me trying to practicalize. So I'm not going to be calculating the width of my pattern yet until I'm satisfied with what I'm trying to achieve, okay? So yeah, that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is place my tape on the waist, and I'll mark my points, my vertical measurements. Waist to hip, waist to the crotch depth, and the waist to the length of my shorts or my pants. So my waist to my hip is 10 inches. If I place my tape on the waist down to my hip, I get 10 inches. But then remember the first mistake that I talked about? So the first mistake, which is about taking away band measurements, the length of my band is going to be 2 inches. So I'm going to be taking 2 inches away from the whole measurement, okay, from the whole vertical measurements. 2 inches is off as my band measurements. And I'm just going to place my tape from 2 inches. I'll mark 10 as my hip point, okay? I pray this pattern comes out well. So this is 10 as my hip point. So I'm going to use my black pen, 2 inches of 10 inches. So here is my hip point. Now the next point is my crotch depth, okay? The depth is different from the length. I'll take away 2 inches for the band, and then I'll go down and mark 11. That's my crotch depth. You guys remember, I showed you how to take the crotch depth. You sit down on a flat surface, and then from your waist to that flat surface, that's your crotch depth, okay? And mine is 11 inches. So this is my crotch depth. The next is the length of my shorts for this practical, and I'm going to be marking 16 inches as the length. Now, once we're done with that, that's the first step. Mark your point, your vertical measurement. So please, if you're doing this practical with me, hope you have the first point, which is the waist, which is down from 2 inches. Second point is the hip point. Third is your crotch depth. And then the last is the length of your pants or your shorts. Now, once that is done, the next thing I have here on my book is mark 1.5 inch on the waist in. So from this point here, I'm going to be going in by 1.5, and that is for shaping allowance. Okay, they ask you why do you take this? Tell them Vivian said shaping. Okay, so this is for shaping, and I'm going to connect that 1.5 here down to my hip point like this. If you have a curve ruler, good. If you have low curve ruler, use a straight ruler like me. But this is it. So this is 1.5 inch shaping. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is divide the round waist and mark after the 1.5. Okay, so we're gotten to the part where we'll start dividing all round measurements by 4. So the round waist divided by 4, my round waist is 30. 30 divided by 4 gives you 7.5. I'll mark this down. I'm going to be adding half an inch ease allowance, half. Okay. Now on the hip, I'll do the same. I'll divide my round hip by 4 and mark it down here. My round hip is 44 divided by 4 gives you 11. And I'll mark it here, and I'll add same half an inch or ease, anyone you want to call it, and then I'll connect. So this is, let's just call this half an inch I'm adding as my ease allowance, and I'm going to be adding sewing allowance when I'm cutting. Okay, so make sure you connect your waist to your hip. And that's the next step. So my crotch extension, what I'll be using for my crotch extension is, I'm going to be dividing my round lap by 2, and I'll mark it like this and add 2 inches. So my round lap is 27. 27 and a half. So 27 and a half divided by 2 gives you 13.75. So I'll be marking this in from here. 13.75 here, and I'm going to be extending my crouch by 2 inches. So I'm going to extend it by 2. That's what I always do on my own method. I extend my crouch by 2 inches. This is 2, and now I'm going to create the curve. Okay, and to do this, I'm just going to use my curve ruler. So I'm connecting from the extension of 2 inches to my hip. I'll just find a way to make sure it is not shallow and it is not too deep. It's just the right amount. So normally people like to come out here by 1.5, or I even went too up. So this is where I'm supposed to connect. So yeah, this is why you should use your pattern. You can always adjust. So I'm going to adjust it like this, and then continue like this. So this one. Now for the crop extension, I hope you saw what I did. I just, from the extension here, I used my curve ruler and I connected it to continuation. Okay, so this is the one I'm using. This is the line I'm using. That's my crouch extension. And once I have that, the next thing I'm going to do is, on my length, I'll divide my round lap by 2, which is, my round lap is 27 divided by 2 gives you 13.75. And then I'll just add 1 inch allowance for ease. 1 inch. And that is it. I'll connect this to the crotch extension. And this is my pattern. So I'm going to just adjust where I need adjustments. And on the waist, I like to come down. I like to drop my waist by 1 inch. So I'm just going to drop that here first. I'm not going to cut it out. I'll just drop it. And I'll connect the 1 inch to this point. But because I don't want it to get to inside, I just come out by half an inch. And I just connect. Now I'm not going to cut out this drop. I won't cut it out yet until I draft out my back pattern. I'll go ahead and cut this out. like I'm supposed to calculate my crouch length. You know, my crouch depth is different from my crouch length. And the crouch length, how to calculate is from your front waistline, put the tape between your leg and take it to the back waistline. Whatever you have there should be the total amount of what you have on your front pattern and on your back pattern crouch length. Like this length here, this is the length. So I'm supposed to calculate what I have here. This is the length, this is my crouch length. Okay, this is how long my crouch needs to be, and this place to get it is the depth, how deep it needs to be. So this I'm going to calculate from here, this drop to this point here, and I'll mark that. I'll put down the number down, and I'll draft out my back and then calculate that one also. So I have 11. From here to here, I have 11. Now I can cut. Very, very important. I even forgot to say the crouch length is also the center front, where the center front is located. Okay, where you have your crouch length is where you have your center front. Okay, and let's draft our back. For the back, very, very simple. We're just going to grab out a new pattern paper, place the front, trace the front, and extend all points by 1.5 inch. Both the crouch, the length, the hip, everywhere by 1.5. This is my old way of placing the pattern. Okay, so let's do this. So I will use my red pen to trace this. So this has been successfully traced. This is my front pattern, and I'm not going to now cut out this drop on the front. I'll keep it aside. Now, like I said, we're going to be adding 1.5. This is the back pattern. And this is the darkness pattern, okay? So for the back, I'm going to be extending up point by 1.5, and I'm going to be using my green marker. Make sure the crouch sits on the same points, 1.5, 1.5. Every point you collect 1.5. Now this 1.5 that I'm adding to all points is going to practically be like my sewing allowance too, okay? I noticed on almost all my pants that the back is always bigger than the front, and sometimes the back makes up the front in a way. I'll make sure that the crouch of the front and the back sits the same way. So I'm just going to extend this like this. The crouch sits the same place, and then I'll just use this. I don't know if you get, okay? So I'm just going to make sure that the crouch sits on the same. So this is how I normally draft out my former pattern. And I'm doing the same thing, and I'm hoping that if I sew this, it comes out really well. So this is my back pattern. The only difference is just the extension. And I'm done. I'm just going to cut this out. Now this is my back crouch length, and this is the back, this is the center back. Remember, we have to calculate the last number on my pouch. I got 11 here. Now from here to here I got 11, right? 11 inches. So I'm going to continue counting and see what I have on here, so I know what is missing. So yeah. Now here I am having 12.5. Let me do it again. 12.5. So 12.5 plus 11 inches. This is 23, right? Yeah, 23.5 plus 4 inches for the band, 2 inches at the back, 2 inches at the front, which is 4. This is 27.5. Now it means that I'm supposed to raise my back by at least 1 inch. I'm supposed to raise my back crouch length by 1 inch. Okay, so I grab a fresh paper. I'm just going to tape it on top of the waist so I can raise my back by at least 1 inch. You know why? Because my crouch length is 29 and I'm trying to get something close to 29 or 28.5. So what I have already is 27. I have 27.5 and I need just 1 inch or 1.5. I just think 1 inch is okay. It's okay. So 1 inch raise is okay for me. And if 1 inch is not okay, I'll come back and I'll raise it again. If I raise here by 1 inch, take it down. I'm just going to go up by 1 inch. Just directly up, okay? Not slant, nothing, just up. I'll go up by 1 inch. And I'm just going to connect it like this. This is the connection. My marker is too somehow. Now, I'm basically what I have from this point here to this point. So I'll use it to connect to this point. I'll just calculate and I'll make sure that I don't go off. So I have 10. And yeah, it's still 10. See, it's still 10. So I'm just going to connect from this point to this point using a slant. Now, our side seam has to be the same with the front because we are sewing the front and the back together, okay? So our side seam has to correspond. But the center back and the center front does not have to correspond because the center front sits in the front and the center back sits at the back. This one is a knowledge that everybody should have. It's not something that is hard for, like, it's not something that they are hiding or anybody's hiding. It's knowledge that everybody should have. So I've raised my crouch by 1 inch, my back crouch by 1 inch. And I'll cut this down, cut this out. Problem solved. So now we're going to do the last confirmation before I cut this on the fabric and sew. I have 14. Let me do that again. Okay, sorry, I have 13.5. 13.5 plus 11. This is 2.5 plus my band, which I'm going to be adding 4 inches, 2 inches at the back, 2 inches at the front. So 4, that's 28.5. This is good. This is good. Now let's go cut this on the fabric. Now when I'm cutting this on the fabric, on the waist here, for the joining of the band, I'm going to leave half an inch. So for the front too. And yeah, let's just go cut. Okay, so I have gone ahead to cut out my pattern, my pattern on my fabric. And as you can see, I left like quarter an inch on the sides, but I made sure that on here I left like half an inch for joining to the band, and I did the same thing at the back. I left half an inch for joining to the band and quarter an inch around. So what I'm going to do now is go sew the front by 0.75 to this point. No, I'm just going to sew the side by 0.75, but then the side by 1 inch. And then I'll do the same for this place. I'll sew this side. Now the sewing is not really important. What is important in this video is the pattern drafting, the testing. Okay, so let me go to try out this pattern onto the sewing machine. Let's go. I feel like this is it.
Yep, exactly what I'm looking for. I haven't attached the band yet. So let me just go attach the band. I haven't even hemmed the down. See? Let me go attach the band. This is like my basic pant pattern. I'm looking at it already. I already know if I want to adjust this. I already know where to adjust from. I already know how to adjust this from, or where to adjust this from to take away things like this.
After wearing it, I just knew instantly what I need to do to make this particular pants better. So yeah, I went back to the drawing book and I just realized that few other mistakes needs to be taken care of. And you guys, this is not the end. We're going to be making a longer version, so there's a continuation video coming up next. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and do not forget to like this particular video. And yeah, please make sure you share so other soulmates can, see this and update themselves on how to make a pant. Okay, thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. See you on the next video. Bye for now.